Good morning and welcome to Real Talk with Tamara. As you guys come into the room, please hit the like button. Also, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. I hope that you guys are doing okay this morning. I know that I am. I decided I always express the importance of hitting the like button. The like button helps to keep the video on the algorithm, and also subscribe to the channel because I'm still seeing that slightly more people are subscribing to the channel, are looking at the videos that's not subscribed to the channel. As soon as I get on to start doing this motivational video, my phone starts ringing. But of course, my TV show is on. So if you're in the Arkansas, Tennessee, Mississippi, and Alabama area, make sure you tune in to Comcast to look at my TV show. Normally, when it's on, the people that's looking at my TV show starts to call my phone, okay, to let me know they enjoyed the show. But I wanted to talk about elevation brings opposition. It brings out the ops, okay? And I was thinking about this morning as I prepare to go on a journey. Normally, when I prepare to go on a journey, when I have to go out of town on cases and things of that nature, um, of course, I'm never afraid, but I always just go into prayer, especially when you're going into territory that you don't know anything about. And of course, I've Googled it and things of that nature, but me and my team, we're going into a city and we're gonna do some work there for a few days. And so my mother always call and pray with me. My mother is an evangelist, okay, and so she's always petitioning the throne of grace. She's always up at 5 a.m., praying, right? Um, and through the years, I've seen how my mother has gotten up, and she's always been a very quiet, um, on us, on. She's not judgmental. I told you guys she's always been very quiet and she's not a judgmental person at all, and I think that's why people have always called her with their problems and things of that nature, because she's a quiet person, that's very unassuming, just a beautiful spirit, right? I got all this fire that I got from her mama. People would always say, it's amazing how you um can be so quiet. But that comes from her dad's side. And that fiery gene skips over you and hits your oldest daughter, which is me, because I got a lot of fire in me too. And it comes from my dad too. Okay. But I have a lot of passion on the inside of me. And that came from my dad. Okay. Um, but you know, she always, when I get ready to go on missions and things of that nature, she always, she gets up and she'll let me know. She'll call me because she get up at 5 a.m. anyways, and she'll go to the end of her bed, sit at the end of her bed, and just start praying in the spirit, right? And she called me this morning. She was like, "I know you got to go on your situation," and I was just up praying for God to protect you all while you're down there. But when I was up, I was thinking about as I was up preparing, you know, to leave. God brought to my mind elevation brings opposition, right? And I think I told you all about I got back on YouTube last year. I had no intentions of, because I had for years I had just uploaded shows, especially what made me start uploading shows was I started doing a lot of missing person shows and things of that nature in the Missouri area. There's something, and it's still really bad in the Missouri area as far as human trafficking. It is something heinous going on down there as it relates to Black girls. It has spread throughout the United States, but Missouri is just a state that is still very high in human trafficking. It's slightly higher. Texas is moving in. Hey, and Texas is a big state, and Missouri still has Texas slightly. It's still slightly higher, although Texas is moving in fast. Because it's something going on with Texas and that border. Okay, but as it relates to human trafficking, but I started uploading my videos, and I had really no intention when I was like, I'm gonna get back on YouTube again. Around this time, I had said this before the Young Dog situation, okay? And then I got back on and started. It just so happens that Young Dog was killed, right? And I've been very honest about that. I was like, I don't listen to a lot of, rap music, a whole lot. I've been listening to it more now than ever. Because Young Dolph Young Dolph's music is more motivational. He talks about getting money and things of that nature. So it's easy for me to listen to his music, learning more about him and things of that nature, and him living in Castelia, and I know the area very, very well because I grew up in South Memphis. And when I started seeing people being extremely attracted to the Young Dogs case, which made me happy because working for a police department, I understand the way to get a police department to move is not to harass them, because I saw people harassing and just flat out lying. Um, but is to keep it out there. So I was like, well, it's a good thing that people are interested in this and they're keeping the Young Dogs case alive. And I started looking at people, but what I started seeing was I saw a few vloggers, was hitting it right on the head because the Memphians knew what had happened to Young Dolph. But I was like, oh wow, I knew a lot of other a lot of other Memphis vloggers had started getting threats and things of that nature, because during that time there had been no arrest, and so they kind of backed away from it. So I started seeing Coat Figure vlog on the case. I started seeing a lot of other people vlog on the case. Sauce, I started seeing like a lot of other people, right? And it was a few. I was like, okay, well, she's, kind of hitting it on the head. He's kind of hitting it on the head. And I started seeing other people. And what I immediately kind of zoned in on, I'm going somewhere with this, was I saw, I started seeing some things, and I was like, it's something that's not right about some of these pages, because they was immediately looking for witnesses. And so I was told early on that some of these pages were being watched. That's the reason why I can say that, because I was told early on, because they felt like they was trying to witness tamper. And now, since the feds got on top of their necks about that, they're still slickly trying to jury tamper, because the people that have not been indicted yet, which they can't change anything, is still trying to taint. Okay. And so I started vlogging on the case, and what I immediately saw was, I was like, well, I'll just, put some truth out there, put truth out there based on what what I know and what I've been told from people from the within the inside. And people can take that information. I felt, 'cause I thought some of these folks wanted the right information, and they could take that information and hey, because I'm just figuring, well, maybe they don't know. Okay. And what I saw was people started to become very sadistic, and that there's this sector that immediately starts, that sector has been zoned in on them and their hackers and all of their criminalistic activities. They're involved with a lot of these record labels, and they get involved with them, and they send their trolls out to hack, to steal identities, to set up murders and things of that nature. That sector is off of the darn chain. Okay. And so, that's the reason why I was laughing when they sent a troll talking about she on somebody else's page. She always talking about she filed reports with the FBI. Bitch, the FBI be on my page, bitch. Okay. So I really at this point don't have to file nothing, because my subscribers are deep. Okay. We files reports, but we really ain't got to file them now. Okay. Because I know for a fact that the FBI is on to them. Okay. So, anyways, excuse me for that, because I'm trying to do some motivation, but I got to thinking about this person messing with me early. So, a lot of when I started, people started noticing my page, and I started noticing that my numbers was going up. And hey, a lot of people do this for a living. I have other things that's going on, right? But a lot of people are on here all the time, so their numbers are supposed to be higher. And I understand that, even though I don't, no matter how high your numbers are, A lot of people just not gonna like your personality, and that's fine. People will come to your page because they love to hate you, and that's cool. But it brought me to elevation brings opposition. People started doing all types of stuff, okay, when they thought that I was elevating because this is their bread and butter. And it's I don't depend on YouTube for not one to pay not one bill, right? And so I started to think about like, for me, I think I was talking about how mediocrity, my dad had always taught me mediocrity just won't do ever. Mediocrity is not acceptable. So when I get in something, I get into it to win, right? I get into it to win, not necessarily to be in competition with anybody else. I'm in competition with the person I was yesterday to be better. That's the difference between me and a whole lot of people. They look at other people and they're, oh, I got to be in competition with her. I got to bring her down. No, I'm not in competition with you. You're not my competitor. Okay. I'm in competition with the person I see in the mirror because I fight to be better each and every day. Right. And I see that that happens with quite a few people. Right. As soon as they start elevating, you have the vices, not devices, you have the vices that come along to try and stop them. Whether it's assassination of the character, assassination of the spirit, because they'll try to mess with your spirit to try to drain you. Because somebody told me that sector, people in that sector said, the person, one of the men that's over that sector said, we trying to drain her to discourage her, but I'm here to tell you, nigga, I ain't going nowhere. You'll be in jail before me. Y'all the one doing scams, not me. Okay. And they would try to assassinate your body, just like they did Young Dolph, and still trying to do his artist. And I use him as an example because Young Dolph, I never said that Young Dolph was perfect because none of us are perfect. But we saw that Young Dolph was out there making his money. Okay. He was out there making his money. He was doing his thing. He was talking his shit because most people do talk their stuff, right? But he was being great and people could not stand that, right? And so it often happens. It don't just happen to Young Dolph. It has happened to me. It has happened to other people that when people see the greatness on your life, they will try and kill you. I think I spoke about Joseph in the Bible where God, he was gifted in dreams. Okay. I've always been very gifted in dreams. God will show me something in a minute. And when it happens, it's almost like a deja vu. I go, my God, I dreamed that, right? And Joseph told his brothers what God was going to do for him because he had shown it to him in a dream. And it goes back to you cannot release the information. You cannot release the dream that God has given you oftentimes because people will get jealous and try and kill you before it comes to pass and try and run with your vision. We see how people look at folks and try to run with their vision. They'll try to duplicate their personality. They'll try to duplicate their words verbatim. They try to duplicate their person and then try to assassinate their character or their human body. Okay. Because they don't know who they are. And so Joseph brothers threw him into the pit, right? And later on, God went on and made Joseph ruler over a land. He went to jail because he was lied on by Potiphar's wife. And all of these things happened to Joseph. But guess what? Because God said it, they still couldn't forfeit what was going to happen. He had to go through the furnace of affliction, right? So that he could get to the dream. So the opposition comes. The opposition comes every time that there is going to be elevation, but they still can't stop the dream. And that's what a lot of these people on YouTube don't understand. Rather, they got these hackers when they're getting people's information, they're trying to send folks to people's houses. I'm so happy, regardless to what the hackers say. I don't care how you hack. You come to my house, you dead. Period. Right? But I thank God that the FBI is on top of it and is getting a hold on this sector because they have terrorized the whole YouTube, right? They basically terrorized the whole YouTube for money. And that's why I say elevation brings opposition. It's something about this sector that whenever there is elevation, they try to send opposition. They become the opposition of anybody that's trying to elevate because they put themselves in a position of God. And just like I was saying that the person, one of the people was plotting something on my life, God has his person, God has his people everywhere. The person came right on and told me, and I was able to go file a police report and send the information. Was able, you fuck nigga, while you're sitting up talking about it's laughable, bitch. Was able to talk to one of the FBI agents that came over to my office, because anytime that there's a threat on your life and there are schemes and things of that nature going on YouTube, it sparks the interest of the FBI, right? You're talking about identity thefts, plots of murders, with and with gangs and things of that nature. The whole gangs, all these gangs have set up in these sectors on YouTube and committing all these atrocities. And you got the nerve to tell me that it's laughable? No, it's gonna be laughable when you got your hacking ass in jail, bitch. Okay, for hacking. Okay. But elevation brings opposition. You get all of this opposition. And I said that to say this: when they can't scare you off, when they can't take you down, they start trying to assassinate your character. They start trying to threaten your children. They start like they did trying to threaten my mama. We gonna file a fake police report on our mama. And because God, it's just meant for me to elevate, God will allow people to send me emails and say, this is what they planning to do to you, but it ain't right. I can't go along with that. Take this information and do what you need to do with it. That's when you know that you got God on your side, right? And that no devil in hell could stop what God has for you. Young Dolph's case, Young Dolph is going to get justice. He's already getting it in totality. And pretty soon this case is going to be over. But see, there are certain people that feel like, and I'm just talking about in any case, that they're the only ones that's supposed to drain all of the money as it relates to getting the money from the record labels to try and change the narrative, to get all the views and things of that nature on YouTube, okay, to scam and all of that. They feel like with these cases, we're the ones that's supposed to get everything. And then when that case is over, they move on to the next case. And whoever comes in that has a genuine interest in that case, they start the same thing over again. But a new day coming, y'all. I'm telling you, that ain't bluff. That's real. And I could promise you that. A new day is coming soon. Okay. But elevation brings opposition. Okay. Elevation brings opposition. It always brings the ops out. And you have to know when the ops come out, it is because what you need to start doing when you see the opposition coming out, you need to start celebrating, because that is a sign that you're going in the right direction, because robbers don't try and go and burglarize empty houses. Okay, ain't nobody gonna run into an empty house. Even if the house ain't got no furniture in it, it might have copper. They might go in there to try to get the stove and things of that nature that are left in empty houses. It's always something of value when robbers come and try and hijack you, right? So when people start coming against you, when the ops start coming against you, what you need to do is, number one, depending on how sadistic they are, get reports and shit on file, okay? Because these folks sick over some money, okay? And then what you need to do is start celebrating, because that is a sign that you are on your way. You're about to be elevated. You're in the right direction. So you need to keep pushing forward. If God gives you the vision, God will give you the provision. Okay. So you don't have to worry about the ops, because what did God says? After a while, that demon you won't even see no more, because that's already being handled anyways, right? But never stop trying to elevate just because the opposition come. If there was no opposition, you wouldn't appreciate the win when you get to the finish line, right? It just makes what God has in store for you. It makes you appreciate it just that much more, and then you're able to help the next person that's coming behind you. Because as I always say, it's not about us. It's not about me. Whatever I go through, it's not about me. It's not about you or anybody else that's going through something. It's always about God and trying to, for him and him getting the glory, right? See, a lot of times if you got it easily, okay, if you got it easily, you hey, you wouldn't really appreciate it. Sometimes God gives you a testimony because your testimony is going to help the next person that's coming behind you. And trust me, somebody else is going to come behind you and is going to go through the exact same thing. Okay. And when they're coming through and they're going through the exact same thing, and hey, they don't know why they're going through it. You've already gone through that, and they're able to search YouTube and say, dog, this person went through the exact same thing. This is what this is, and this is what I need to do, and this is the direction that I can look in. God always uses somebody else for the testimony if you allow him to. Okay. So elevation brings out the ops. Okay. Because some people just cannot stand to see you be blessed. But guess what? They can't stop it. The only person that can stop you is you. You got to stop. See, what they want to do is they want to stop you. They can't stop the will of God. The only person that can stop the will of God is you. If you say, hey, I give up, that's all they want. That's why they want to mess with your mind. That's why the person that's in that sector said they just trying to drain you. But guess what? Every time they was messing with me, I just kept coming back. I just kept coming back. And then what happens is when you start getting the right people around you and fasting and praying, somehow God will touch the hearts of the enemy to help you. And they don't even know why they helping you. Girl, I was a troll. Okay. But what they doing to you ain't right. They're trying to mess with your mama. They're trying to do this. They're trying to do that. This is what that sector does. Okay. And these are the names of the people. And that's when you get the shouting because hey, God use it. That person don't know you, don't know what you're going to do with the information, don't know if you're going to bust them out, but they're giving you the right information so you could take it to the authorities. That's when you know that God is God. God says, I am the great I am. I am that I am. I touch the heart of man to make the person bless you. It's not that person, it is God that touched the heart of man. Okay. So always know elevation brings opposition. So don't get weary and well doing or while you out there running the race. Everybody that has ever ran a race got tired, but they did not stop running. And they didn't keep looking behind them to see how close the person that was running the race with them was. See, people keep looking back at other people. Ooh, that person gonna catch up with me. You ain't never seen nobody stop to stick their foot out, they leg out to try to trip the person behind them. They didn't worry about that. They just kept running until they reached the finish line. That's it. That's all. You ain't got time for the ops. You ain't got time to look on the side of you to see who's on the side of you. You have to stay focused to reach the finish line because if you keep going, God gonna make sure you reach the destination. And after a while, what happens? God, they kick in, they get it, they kick into that second wind. And then after a while, you start seeing them moving ahead of the people that is even on the side of them because God has given them that second wind. You don't see their head going to the left or to the right. They just keep looking straight ahead. You ain't got time for the ops because they're going to come. But if you keep looking ahead and you keep looking up, because God says, look to the hills, because that's where all of your help is going to come from. If you can't look straight ahead, look up because that's where you're going to get your strength from. Sooner or later, the opposition starts to fall behind and they wither away, and God starts dealing with them because He says, when I get them back for what they did, you're going to see me get them back. And that's when that payback started to come in. You go, dog, what happened to that person? I ain't seen them on YouTube. You start getting curious, okay? And then after a while, you see that their page is gone, okay? You go, oh my God, what happened? You start doing research and you start seeing that, hey, it's been some indictments, okay? That's what happens when you keep looking ahead and keep looking up. Because as I said, the opposition is going to come. But the opposition is always an indication that there is elevation right up the road. So you don't need to stop and don't get weary because that's what the ops want you to do. They want you to stop because, see, a lot of times we be in it and we can't see the blessing. But because some people pay close attention and study you closer than you study yourself, they can already see the blessing on your life. They see how people take to you. They can already see that you're about to tap into something and they get about trying to get you tired so you won't finish the race. Okay, that is the job of the opposition. I remember when I started doing business, and I was always the type of person, I didn't haggle or anything like that. People would see me on TV, and in the beginning I would go out and I would be the one when they would say, "Oh, I want to do advertising." I would go, "Okay, oh my God." I was so excited. And so when I would get out, it would they wanted to these men, I would get in their office, they had all kinds of stuff on their mind. And I would call my dad, crying. Sometimes I would go, they wasted my time. And I went out and, some people say, well, I'm a black owned business. Can't you give me some advertisement for free? And my dad said, wait a minute, you sit up and you cry, and you disappointed in people. He said, and I kind of let you go through it because I know you got to go through it for it to make you stronger. He said, but let me tell you something. Their job is to do that. Their job is to try to get each and any and everything that they can from you for free. He said, that's their job. You can't be mad at them. He said, your job is to make sure that they don't. That's your only job, not to worry about why they doing it. You let them do what they do, but your only job is to make sure they don't. And my attitude changed after that. When I would walk in and I would be looking at them and they would start trying to haggle and things of that nature, and I would smile and say, well, you know what, sir? We don't offer that, but I can offer you this. Because their job was to try to get everything for free. My job was just to make sure they didn't get it for free. Okay. It was to be beneficial to me and not just them. Okay. And so I said that to say this: the enemy starts sending when you're building something. The enemy is going to always send opposition. It's been happening since the beginning of time. It ain't nothing special about us. It was happening in the Bible days. You just got to pass the test to elevate. That's it. That's all. Start thanking the people. Okay. Start thanking them. Say, you know what? You start looking at them and thanking them. I know I got a big blessing, because the bigger the opposition, the bigger the blessing is. Always know that. Oh, God, you sure got something big for me. Okay. Because as I said, if you weren't doing something right, if you didn't have something great on your life, people wouldn't even bother you. They wouldn't even be studying you. Okay. Take this for an example with Young Dolph, when they was getting, and I like to use Young Dolph as an example because I think it's a darn shame, what they did to Young Dolph. And then they had a nerve to hire bloggers to constantly sit up and terrorize, right? And when, I believe it was Key Glock or Jay Fizzle or somebody that they were in, that Soldier Boy was into it with. I don't know if it was Key Glock or Jay Fizzle. And so Key Glock and Jay Fizzle and them, even though they were doing good, right? Young Dolph was the bigger fish. Okay. He was the bigger fish. And so even though Young Dolph had not said anything, he was not bothered. Soldier Boy was arguing with his artist. He directed his insults. They started targeting Young Dolph. Okay. They didn't even really want to argue with his artist. They wanted to take it out on him. And that's what they did, because he was the big fish. So he was the one that carried all of the blessings in his loins, because he was the one that was making everything possible as it relates to his artist, as it relates to that label. They saw the blessing. They saw what he was getting ready to do, because he said, I'm a millionaire. I came from nothing. He turned down the 22 million, and now I'm getting ready to be a billionaire, and they couldn't take that. Okay. So instead of just arguing back with whoever it was that that the issue started with, they went at Young Dolph because he was the big fish. Okay. So always know, okay, people always aim for those that have the greatness on them at that time. That's just what the devil does. So don't start feeling sorry for yourself. Don't do that. When the opposition come, that's an indication I'm on the right road and I'm about to tap into something for real. And that's when you start pressing. That's the reason why I go harder. That's why I told him, I said, if y'all didn't want me to talk about the young dog case, you should have left me alone. Because each and every time they tried to stop me, it made me come back harder. Okay. And that's what you have to do. Okay. And just know, okay, as I was saying, when there's opposition, there's always getting ready to be some elevation. Okay. And see, I was getting ready to say, sometimes the enemy can see blessings on you that you can't even see on yourself. You don't even see all of the blessings that you have, the light that's on your life. You can light up a room. When you walk into a room, you can't even see that, but they do. And instead of them trying to get some of that light, okay, what they do is they immediately get about trying to not just dim the light, but just blow it out, meaning they taking people's lives. That's what the enemy is using people so much. They taking folks' lives because they are so sadistic. And I guess they want to put themselves in the position of God. Okay. But as I said, no demon man could ever stop the plan of God. Okay. So just continuously press forward. Elevation always brings out the ops. Always. Look at that. What's happening with Kenny Money. Kenny Money said, you 2 months late. But he's elevating. He's on tour with Key Glock. Okay. He's on tour with Key Glock. The opposition don't like that I bring light to this, but whether I talked about it or not, the feds already on top of y'all's heads. Y'all can't just take people's lives. If I had never talked about it, hell, I'm probably, hipping you to some stuff because they is watching y'all. Y'all can't just take folks' lives. But that's what the opposition does. You 2 months late. This stuff happened 2 months ago. That's what the devil does. But now I'm elevating. I'm on tour. We got to start a beef so that we can try and take you out. Elevation brings opposition, but keep pressing forward because no man could ever stop the plan of God. Okay. And I know that this conversation was loaded. I didn't use some of everything. Folks gonna say, but you cuss. I don't care. That's what I do. Okay. Just listen to the message. All right. Listen to the message and let it inspire you. Okay. But I just had to get on here and talk about that, and I hope I was able to help somebody. But I want you guys to please like, share, and subscribe. Okay. Somebody said we could look at your videos and we don't have to subscribe if we don't want to. No, you don't. Hit the like button. Okay. Just hit the like button. That was early in the morning. So I'm sure that person was up smoking. Okay. I don't get mad. I love you just the same, love. Make sure you tap that like button since you don't want to hit the subscription button. Okay. And try not to smoke too much. All right. I want you guys to know that I love you. I want you guys to know that I appreciate the support for the channel as always. Okay. As always, you know, the thing about people is when they are able to hide behind other people, it ain't nothing they won't do because they feel like if something go on, and I'm talking about these trolls, because see, when I start bringing a lot of things to light, it's a damn shame that somebody like being somebody's lapdog, who she thinks she is, to call us out. I'm putting such and such on her. They ain't gonna do it because they gotta hide behind you. And then they sit up and laugh at you and say y'all got mental illnesses. I'm talking about the trolls. As long as they feel like when it hits, because y'all got to know that an end coming to all this hacking and stuff. But as long as a person can hide behind somebody else, you wouldn't see all these hits if these folks had to do it themselves. They're not going to put themselves in a position to go to jail for the rest of their lives. So as long as they can use a weak-minded person and dangle a little money in their face, they'll continue doing this. This is what people do when they're able to send people out. And I said that to say this: get some self-dignity and respect. Stop letting people use you. Tell them to go do your own dirt. Get your mama to do it. Okay. And watch and see on a lot of this stuff change. Okay. They'll go crawl back up under them rocks because a lot of people that send folks out, they're not going to bust a grape. They're not going to do it. They have to use somebody that they consider weak. Stop letting people use you. Okay. But anyways, you guys, please like, share, and subscribe. I want you guys to know that I appreciate you. As I said, um, I appreciate you guys so much. I had to hook my computer up. I appreciate you guys so much. I don't take the support that I get from you guys lightly, okay? This message was loaded, but it had a lot of gems in it, okay? I want you guys to know that I love you so much. Be blessed. Talk to you later.